What is Canon versus Canon? 616.
Let's discuss. What's going on, everyone? It's Alex. Welcome back to the channel. Got a quicker one here today discussing the multiverse now that we're officially in the multiverse saga. I figured it'd be a good time to discuss how everything works and if the MCU is truly 616 or Earth 19999. So if you're new to the channel or just like Marvel, the MCU, comics, and everything in between, subscribe and drop a like. Other than that, let's get into the video. Let's go. We're going to keep a little counter at the bottom of the screen for how many times the word or phrase verse pops up in this video. But anyway, let's define a few terms first. Canon is a collection of items by means of an accepted genuine. In simpler terms, canon is the general law or ruling of something by which is judged. Now, the multiverse is essentially just a group of multiple universes. Within each universe contains their own Asgard, their own Loki, just as we've seen in the MCU so far. The Omniverse is the collection of multiverses within one overall verse. So if you take the entire collection of all multiverses, metaverses, dimensions, it's all under one umbrella, the Omniverse. Dimensions are different from this though. There is only one dark dimension in the entire multiverse, so there's only one Dormammu. In theory, there should be another dark dimension in a different multiverse, as there is also a different Ta Lo from Shang-Chi, a different Hell dimension, the Duat, Ancestral Plane, and so on. This also goes for beings like the Living Tribunal, the One Above All, and Celestials. There are only one of them in each respective multiverse. Well, obviously there's more than one Celestial, but you know what I meant. As a concept though, the Omniverse has barely been explored, so I'm not going to get too into detail about this and that and what exists here and there and so forth. But the One Above All in theory is, as the name states, the one above all. He is literally above anything and everything to ever exist. He is the Omniverse. So in theory, the Marvel screen adaptations, or the MCU, is Earth 616 in its own respective manner. From an outsider looking in, aka me, you, the viewer, we had deemed it to be Earth 19999 for the purpose of it making it easier to be distinguished. But in the actual universe, as they are the centerpiece of the universe, the MCU is 616 in its own universe. So how does this make sense? Let's discuss a bit further. The biggest argument for the MCU being Earth 616 is that the comics are Earth 616, and so both can't coexist. By using the MCU logic and storylines, in order for both universes to be the same multiverse, America Chavez would have had to have seen a different version of herself in a dream. Her comic version would have been someone that she dreams of, but being that she is the only one, it would have to mean that the comic universe of Earth 616 is not in the same multiverse of the MCU 616, which would place it in the overall omniverse of everything. So 616 just refers to the Prime Earth universe within its own respective multiverse. And when people want to discuss what makes everything canon versus non-canon, yes, in theory everything is canon. If you truly want to take things into that consideration, you could, because all of everything is connected. Things are canonically merged by default. But anyone wanting to use that categorization is just simplifying things way too much. Earth 616 may be the mainstream comic book universe, but it's not the canon of everything. It's a canon within its own multiverse. The MCU is its own canon for the movies and shows that we watch. So what does that mean? It means that canon does, or should at least only truly follow the main universe of the story in which it's telling. So yeah, somehow out there, the X-Men Fox universe you could argue is canon because it's connected by the multiverse, right? But those movies are not canon to the actual MCU. And we know that in the MCU, characters can look exactly alike or completely different. So when we see a completely different Professor X in Multiverse of Madness, although it looks the same, does that make the Foxverse canon? Sure, like I said, in theory everything is, but when it comes down to the actual story and such, no. And if it doesn't match the story, does it really matter? Obviously in No Way Home we saw Toby and Andrew show up, but are you really going to say that those movies, their solo movies specifically, are part of the MCU canon? No, they're really not. Even the new Spider-Man freshman year show, it's set in a different universe within the same multiverse that the MCU takes place in. So does that make it canon? Yeah, sure, it does, but canon derives from the Prime Earth 616 of that multiverse. The biggest debate is talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Netflix shows, which are supposed to be loose canon, but they're really just not going to reference previous events. But to sum it up, canon really only matters if it affects Earth 616. if it affects the MCU. What If is canon. It may be in another universe, but it is the MCU. The Foxverse is, yes, technically in a different universe, but does it affect the MCU story? No, it doesn't. So enjoy what your heart desires, make things canon how you want them to be, but just think about how it affects something else. If it doesn't affect the MCU, does it really matter if the Cloak and Dagger show is canon? Probably not. Iman Vellani, who plays Miss Marvel, and Kevin Feige jokingly argue about this all the time now, and Kevin gave us the answer for why the MCU is Earth-16, because he said so. I mean, I could see Kevin actually being the one above all, and before he retires or leaves, he just makes a cameo as the one above all, because in theory, the comic writers, the artists, and movie producers are the ones above everything. But that's all for this video today, a little bit shorter, but I hope you enjoyed it. It may have made you more confused or completely understand the terms canon and Earth-616, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You can follow me on Twitter at AnotherMarvelG or join my Discord, all the links are in the description below. Drop a like to support the channel, and other than that, I just want to say thank you. I'm Another Marvel Guy, and I'll catch y'all on a blip.